Great news as we start a Tuesday morning with incredible details about a new second stimulus bill being introduced, finally. Overnight, a couple of my subscribers said again that their dogs and cats run into the room as soon as they hear me talking about stimulus. So let's try this again. Second stimulus. Oh my God, just added, 10 golden retrievers in the room. All right, let's try the opposite. Javita Carranza. Oh, there went all the cats. They just left the room. Mitch McConnell. Just lost all my alpacas. No more alpaca viewers for me as of that statement. Let's try the big one. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, suddenly all my lobsters left the room. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning. Glad you're here. It is mornings, LALATE, every morning at 8:30 with incredible, great news about second stimulus. I told you yesterday, only on this channel, that no less than 3 new second stimulus bills are coming. And I did not see it this quickly. One is introduced today. Let's get to the incredible details shortly, but thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE, now the Net's most watched show. As always, go to the Funnest channel and subscribe and drop your comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Thank you for subscribing overnight. We now reached 250,000 subscribers, the first YouTube channel to reach that in 4 months. Absolutely incredible. Also, like this video. Your liking this video is part of the Purple Power has absolutely been incredible. I think yesterday's morning's LALATE video had almost 20,000 likes, which is just insane. Let's get to the incredible details. In this video, I'm going to be going over the shocking new great news about a second stimulus bill being introduced minutes ago, or being introduced today. I'm on the West Coast, as you know, so there's that time delay. Everything is sort of slower, sort of like Mitch McConnell's brain cells. But there's this incredible bill coming. I'm also going to talk about the other 2 bills that are they're coming this week, and then I'll be talking more about this path to get money from your states. I got a lot of tweets and DMs overnight about that. That is part of our incredible world exclusive, broke only on this channel, and we're going to be detailing that more this afternoon. But I'll be going over this additionally in this video. And finally, executive orders for second stimulus checks. It's a great day. Thank you for tuning in. So let's get to the great details. The Problem Solvers Caucus, which is a nonpartisan group of both Republicans and Democrats, are introducing a new bill today. I detailed it yesterday, first time anywhere else, and that bill is the one that I'm excited about personally. It's almost exactly what you need. There are some shortcomings in it, but generally it's exactly what you want. Stimulus checks, FPUC, checks for dependents, and there is also some other stuff like PPP. The only part of the bill that I don't like is the amount of check for the dependents. More about that in a second. But generally, this is an incredible, great bill. I will be tagging for you on Twitter the people you need to follow. And additionally, you want to follow Representative Josh Gottheimer. That's hard to pronounce. Gotttheimer. I'll be getting to his remarks shortly. He's a Democrat out of New Jersey, and he is the co-chairman of the Problem Solver Caucus. Why is this so important? This is so important because there's a new movement by moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans that say we can't do what Nancy Pelosi is doing for us. We have to get this done. We have to have we have to have a bill. We can't go in the fall elections with no effort. We can't sit back and say we did something in May, that's fine, we don't have to do anything. This is amid the entire scandal that this channel has unfolded, where Nancy Pelosi is holding up your stimulus checks for a contention that she needs $915 billion for state and local, a number that has been vehemently disproven by third-party analytics like Moody's Analytics and governors associations, showing that she only needs about $150 billion and that she's looking for a grant bailout of states for 3 years that have now still upwards of $150 billion in their pockets from the first stimulus round unused and not being given to you. That's part of our world exclusive coming up shortly. So this bill is so exciting. Let me tell you about the details right off the bat. The bill will have another round of PPP. It'll have stimulus checks, $1,200 individuals, $2,400 married couples. It reportedly will have stimulus checks for dependents. I don't know, based upon the way it's phrased, if it's for dependents that are both minor dependents and adult dependents. It is apparently $500 for dependent children, is what he said in an interview minutes ago, but he would not explain the amount for adult dependents, if at all. Then there's going to be FPUC 2.0. Let me go over this right now. The measure would pay FPUC first at $450 per week for 8 weeks, starting at the date at which July FPUC 1.0 lapsed, and then it would be at $600 a week for an additional 5 weeks. Remember, this is on top of LWA, so this is not after LWA. It's not starting today. So it would be 8 weeks at $450 per week, and then $600 per week for the next 5 weeks. This is a great deal. This is more than Mnuchin offered. Mnuchin, as you know, offered $450 per week all the way to December. Pelosi wanted $600 all the way to December, a number that's never going to happen. Mitch McConnell has offered $300 a week, and the president has offered $450 a week. So this is more than what the president has offered, but dramatically less than what Nancy Pelosi has offered, but no one really thinks that her deal is ever going to show light of day. It would pay $500 billion to state and local, which, you know, I don't particularly like that number, and I'll tell you why. Because the third-party analytics say state and local needs $150 billion, and the White House has offered double that, $300 billion. This offers $500 billion. Nancy Pelosi wants $915 billion. So at $500 billion, he's trying to do a bailout of state and local for about a year. I don't like that. And you know what I don't like about that number is that, you know, he was on CNBC minutes ago and he said, we're just trying to do a short-term fix to get to the end of the end of the year, and then we can reassess this next year. $500 billion is not a number to the end of this year. That's a number to the end of next year. So I think that's a little bit too rich. He's out of New Jersey, and we can't afford to do nothing until the next inauguration. So we figured out a way, and just a framework to hopefully get negotiators back to the table. His focus is wonderful, and his motive is wonderful, and his mindset is wonderful. If we don't like particular numbers here, don't kill the messenger, because ultimately what's incredibly great news is stimulus checks for you. This is just incredibly great news. What's incredibly great news is FPUC, even more than I thought anyone would ever argue for you. I always thought that the ceiling was $400 for anything at this point for FPUC. So he's going far and above that. I mean, this is really incredible. His total price tag, I'm extremely excited about. This is incredible great news at $1.5 trillion. The president will agree to $1.5 trillion. I've said that extensively because the president has offered $1.3 trillion and the 200 something difference actually is something he will go to. As Major Garrett from CBS said on Friday, I've been reporting for several weeks, there's quiet chatter that the president would agree to $1.5 trillion. So this is incredible, great news. If you like this, you need to be on Twitter and be tweeting this video to Representative Josh Gothamer and adding any comments you want. You know, I think that dependents and adult dependents should both get stimulus checks. I don't know if he's proposing that. I think it should be $1,200. I don't think it should be taken off of child support. These are not hard and fast decisions by him or his caucus. He's trying to get this done. He's a problem solver. I would also ask that they could possibly solve the problem of Nancy Pelosi's hairstyle, but we can do that after this one. So there's so many other things that got to solve. Larry's Kudlow's math, Steve Mnuchin's veracity, but there's so much other stuff they got to deal with. Now that is one bill. Now I want to turn to the other two bills. Yes, there's a lot of other bills coming. So Steny Hoyer, Democrat, the Blue Dog Democrats, Democrats. Did I say Democrats? Democrats. Democrats. Yeah, if you're still staying with me, try to get them back in the room. I lost them at the opening. They are upset. Whether it's the Blue Dogs or the New Age Democrat coalition, they want movement. They're not going to deal with this insanity of Pelosi doing nothing and telling us as a divine dictator, as a divine despot, it's her way or the highway. Well, you know what? It's now the highway for her because no one's going to do that. They want a deal. And so the Blue Dogs are doing their bill. The New Age Democrats are doing their bill. I hope they get their bills in very fast because now we have this one. It would be wonderful if all these three bills would be combined and that the consensus of these three different caucuses are combined. You know, how many members are at issue in here? Well, the problem solvers are 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans. The New Age group and the Blue Dogs combined, I think it's about 300, but it's not as bipartisan. I would like other Republicans to really step in and support this, and let's get it done. This is incredibly great news. All right, now let me turn to the other subject matters that are really pressing this morning. First, there is incredible chatter still, talk and discussion and focus on this absolute horrific scandal, detail first here in a world exclusive on Saturday. $150 billion allocated to state and local under the first stimulus package. 150, did I say billion? Trillion. $150 trillion dedicated to state and local under the first stimulus package. This was an incredible amount of money for them to use for you, and they have not used it. There's several factors that are really now pushing for either them to use it on you or for the president to recapture it and send it out as second stimulus checks. Let me do the second one first. The president over a week ago said he wants to send out second stimulus checks with $300 billion he has found in state coffers from first stimulus package money unused. I believe that's PPP money that has expired. He wants to use that money and send out stimulus checks. This is incredible. You need to stay on him, stay on Mnuchin, stay on Meadows to say, hey, send the money out, send out the stimulus checks right now. What are we waiting for? The president really has about a 2 to 3 week time frame to send it out because it has to land in your bank account before you start to go into mail-in voting, because otherwise it serves no purpose for him politically. He needs to do this right now. There's less distractions this week. The book issue is gone or settled down. This is the time to do the stimulus checks. The next one is I've identified $200 billion that the president could use for another round of LWA. That's sitting in in federal coffers. He can send that out as well. He has the authority. It's not in the Treasury. There's all that. But then we have all this incredible money that is sitting in city, state, and local that was dedicated by the federal government, has not been used. The president needs to recapture that money and repurpose it. Or the alternative is you need to really step up your discussion on social media against your states that have not used the money. What's going on with that? Okay, now states were given this money for the purposes of giving you stimulus checks, rent, food, unemployment benefits, and all those type of things. They were given it in April. Based upon the size of the states, they got the money, then the states gave it to the counties and the cities. In some cases, sometimes they just stayed with the states. Several levels of scandals have erupted. One, some states have not even given the money to local. Two, some states have not used the money, or local jurisdictions have not used the money. Three, some states or cities have not used the money for purposes that were dedicated for COVID-19. Or four, some states are now rushing to use the money because it's use or lose. The last scenario is the one that I'm personally excited for. This is really great news for you. A lot of cities and states understand that there's a deadline. There's a deadline under the manner in which they got the money to use it or lose it. If they don't use it, it gets recaptured automatically. So they're rushing to market to do grants, loans, rent, food, and stimulus. Every time I do a video and I talk about a state that says, oh, we're throwing in some extra stimulus money for you. Oh, we're doing, a bridge fixer for LWA because your $100 threshold, you can qualify. We're fixing it. Those are states that are using the money in the proper way. There's the other states that are using the money in the improper way. South Dakota, taking your money to do a travel campaign without authority from their legislative body, with local legislators absolutely slamming the governor saying, this is money for our citizens. What the hell are you taking the money to go do an ad campaign for? There's that. Local jurisdictions taking money to buy 2 cameras for councilmen's chambers. Absolutely horrific at $16,000 a pop. $35 million for the police force to make them look nice. Not using the money for your purposes. I have gotten a lot of private messages in the last, 24 hours approximately saying, can you tell me what my state's doing with the money? I can't. Unfortunately, there is no watchdog group, there is no ACLU action, there is no constitutional attorneys that are stepping in and saying, wait a second, this is citizens' money. What are you doing with our citizens' money? You're squandering it or not using it as we absolutely fall into financial calamity. What are you doing? There absolutely needs to be this movement. This is perhaps the most horrific scandal you have ever heard during the pandemic. And it absolutely needs to be front and center. That states have taken your money, put it in the bank to get interest, and there's even this. Some states now know that they can't use it for the purposes that they want to use it for. They're unlawful purposes. So they're holding on the money with the hope that there'll be some change in Washington so that they can use it for a purpose that has nothing to do with you. Yeah, it's that bad. And for that exact purpose, you need to really be on top of the ball. So for viewers who have asked me what's going on in my state, people said, what has Cuomo done in New York for our money? What has, I got someone from Tennessee that reached out to me, one from Ohio. What you need to do is you need to go online and go into Google News or Bing News and look for the following words. CARES Act 1 money plus your state. CARES space 1 plus act, ACT plus your state. And you'll see if something is brewing in your state about the use of funds. That's how I found Honolulu. They got hundreds of millions of dollars for the city of Honolulu for their citizens, and they have spent next to nothing. Less than 10% of the money has been used. It's absolutely a human disgrace. So as we sit here today, we have that path, which has a good outcome for you, that cities and states in some circumstances, in some locations and counties are now using the money for you for stimulus, for rent, for grants, and for food. So absolutely you need to start looking for that. The next one is the movement by the president to really get this done by executive order. When the Problem Solvers Caucus announced this bill today, this was not unusual. I had been detailing this on this channel for upwards of 3 weeks. They went to meet with Mark Meadows, chief of staff to Donald Trump. These basically are very close to Meadows's talking points, his deal points. They went to talk to the Temple too. She wouldn't answer the door. I'm not exaggerating. She would not answer the door. She probably called them whatever their name is again. And so this is incredibly great news. What I want you to know as we start the new day, and we have a wonderful day ahead of us with incredible purple power, a lot of positivity, a lot of energy, is that I'm here to get you money. You're going to get money. You're going to find the money. I want you to understand that there's no one better out there for me to find money for you. This is unclaimed money. I don't sit back and say, your stimulus check is coming to... I just don't do this. I'm going to give you a personal anecdote right now. I have one viewer whose family is really struggling very badly because they're having problems with their EIDL loan. And, of course, there's no second stimulus check out as well. But this is a family that has a business. And I said, and they're also independent contractors. I said, did you go get unemployment assistance? Did you go get PUA? You're self-employed. I didn't think of that. What do you mean you didn't think about that? How many weeks has it been going on? It's been going on since June. I said, June? June, July, August, September. That's 4 months. 4 months times 4 weeks. 16 weeks. I said, did you ever get benefits before? Yeah, I got benefits before. How much did you get? Maximum benefits. And I got the $600 on top of it. So you got close to about $1,000 a week when the pandemic stopped, but you stopped certifying for benefits. Why? I just didn't think about it. Needless to say, I told that viewer last night, go get your PUA. That viewer, based upon my calculations, will be getting a check shortly for about $12,000. It's that type of movement that this channel has always been about, getting you money and not sitting around for people to tell you, I'm here to win. Don't be a cheap date. Don't come back to me unless you have $2.3 trillion. You know what? We go around you and we get the money for you. That's the spirit of the Purple Power. I love that you've joined me this morning. We're going to get through this together. We're absolutely going to get through this together. I want you to get money every way you can get it. If you are a self-employed individual, if you are an Uber or Lyft driver or did Airbnb or Postmates, you go get an EIDL loan right now. If you are unable to work because of the pandemic or your number of hours have been reduced, go get PUA right now, and make sure you certify back to the date at which you're impacted back. If it's back in March, go get it. If you're UI, if you used to work and now have been laid off, you should be on unemployment. Go get it right now. If you're looking for rent or grants in your city where you're a resident, go get that. If you need mortgage forbearance, go to the federal. Go look it up and watch my federal mortgage forbearance videos in the afternoon. Same thing for CDC. I'm here to really help you. And with that, go to the front of this channel and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We're trying to, keep on pushing after 250,000 subscribers, so let's keep on going it. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm. Coming up this afternoon on Afternoons LA, more about this incredible, great news. I'm so excited for you. That's at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay at LA for more.